Good morning, Year 8. So in today's lesson we are looking at a chemical compound called limestone, and I just wanted to go through something called the limestone cycle with you today. So I'm going to have a look at what the limestone cycle is, what chemicals are in it, and just give you a bit more information about each part. Now I'm sure you have all heard of limestone before. We come across limestone an awful lot in our everyday lives. It's used for buildings, for statues. It's used in other things as well, like making cement or concrete. And in the limestone cycle, all the different products that we've got can be used for lots of different things as well. So limestone is sort of the common name for this chemical, but the chemical name for it is actually calcium carbonate. And when we have a look at the formula, which is one that hopefully you'll recognise, is CaCO3. So this is where we get the carbonate part of the formula from, because it's got carbon and it's got oxygen in it. And as I said, limestone's got lots of uses. You've probably seen it from old buildings, particularly things like cathedrals. Lots of different uses in construction, and also, as I said, it can be used to make cement and concrete. It's also used in making glass, and probably quite a lot of other things as well. Now, calcium carbonate, if we heat calcium carbonate up, we can produce another compound. And if you can remember, if we heat up a substance and it breaks down into something else, it is an example of a thermal decomposition reaction, so heat to break something down. So if we heat it up, it breaks down into this compound which is called quicklime. And quicklime, again, it's like the more common name for the chemical, a bit like limestone is, which is calcium oxide. And the formula for calcium oxide is CaO. Nice and simple formula there. So we heat it up, we break it down by thermal decomposition, and we produce this compound called quicklime. Now there's another product in thermal decomposition, because if you have a look, we've produced the calcium and the oxygen, but we've got a few bits that have been left out of the formula, and that's actually carbon dioxide gas. So when we heat up calcium carbonate, we produce calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas, which is obviously released into the atmosphere from that particular reaction. Again, calcium oxide has got lots of uses. It's a white powder, so often it's added to things in industry to make them look white. So for example, porcelain and some kind of china has calcium oxide added into it. It's also often found in things like flour, as in baking flour, because it's a fairly inert substance. It doesn't react with anything, so it can be in flour as like a bulking agent, also in indigestion tablets and things like that. It doesn't do us any harm, calcium oxide. Now, moving on from calcium oxide, if we add water to calcium oxide, so we mix it with some water, we produce this chemical which is called slaked lime. Bit of a funny name, and the name for slaked lime, so the chemical name for slaked lime, is calcium hydroxide. And the formula is CaOH2, like that. Again, calcium hydroxide has got lots of uses. In particular, the use that you need to know about for a common entrance is the fact that farmers use slaked lime, and it's called agricultural lime for farmers. And basically, if they've got soil that they're trying to grow something in and it isn't the right pH, so if it's too acidic for whatever they are trying to grow, because different crops like growing in different pHs of soil, they will add this calcium hydroxide to the soil to neutralise the pH and bring it closer to the pH that they want. So calcium hydroxide can be used to neutralise acidic soil. And as we can see, so hydroxide, we're often used to seeing hydroxide when we come across alkali substances. So calcium hydroxide is an alkali substance. Now we're almost there. We've got one more to add into our limestone cycle, and we've added water to the slaked lime. If we add even more water, so keep adding water to the slaked lime and dissolve it, we produce something that we have actually all used, and this is called lime water. So we know about lime water from when we've been testing for carbon dioxide gas, and the formula for lime water is exactly the same. So it's still calcium hydroxide, it's just got a bit more water in it. So it's still got the same formula as the slaked lime. So calcium hydroxide, it's still Ca with an OH attached to it, like that. Lime water has fewer uses as much as the other substances. The main use for lime water, as I said, is for testing for carbon dioxide, which is what we've used it for in the lab. So we've gone from limestone to calcium oxide to calcium hydroxide, and then again to calcium hydroxide with a bit more water in it. And we can go back to calcium carbonate from calcium hydroxide if we're able to add the carbon dioxide. So as I said, we use lime water to test for the presence of carbon dioxide gas. And if you remember, when we do that experiment, the lime water changes. So it goes from colourless, or sort of a clear solution, and it goes to a cloudy solution. And the cloudiness is actually because small bits of limestone, small specks of calcium carbonate, are forming in the lime water. So when you react the calcium hydroxide with the carbon dioxide, you get calcium carbonate forming at the end of it. So that's our limestone cycle. Hopefully that'll help you out with the work that you need to do today. Feel free to come back and watch the video in case you need to add anything into your limestone cycles that you're going to be producing. Thank you very much, guys.